So Sweta does a thread on an article from sciencemag.org. Dear American Association for the Advancement of Science, I feel silly having to tell scientists to use their brains, but you've put me in that position with this simple-minded interview. The article itself is from sciencemag.org, and the basic gist is an interview with Anthony Fauci, in which Fauci says he's going to try to make the White House listen to the facts of the pandemic. Carlos continues. Trump said that he wishes that the Chinese had told us about this 3 or 4 months earlier. You and Anthony Fauci say that Donald Trump is getting the dates wrong. Actually, you are getting the dates wrong. You're relying on when the Chinese went public. Trump is talking about when he learned of the problem. The part that I feel silly telling you about is that Trump has more information than you do. This is crystal clear based on the evidence. When he was CIA director, Mike Pompeo secretly went to Pyongyang, North Korea, and spoke directly to Kim Jong-un. It never leaked. You didn't know about it. In 2017, the submarine USS Jimmy Carter twice returned from the Pacific, flying the Jolly Roger, indicating 2 successful combat missions. The Carter is our most classified sub. It inserts and recovers special ops units. The missions in question have never been leaked, but they definitely had to do with China. The Chinese massed troops and armor on the border with Hong Kong, but never invaded. Everyone criticized Trump for not condemning or warning China, but he was pretty much silent. What do you suppose happened behind the scenes that dissuaded the Chinese? The list goes on forever. You and I, members of the general public, do not have the information Trump has. But here's the difference. I've studied Trump. You haven't. You always think he's screwing up. Having studied him, I know that he simply found an unorthodox solution to problems that people like you thought had no solution. Do you remember the great betrayal of the Syrian Kurds? Within 48 hours of U.S. troops leaving Kurdish territory, the Kurds had signed a deal with Bashar al-Assad. Unlike you, I read the deal. It took years to negotiate. Before the Syrian civil war, Syrian Kurds had no rights. Now they have a semi-autonomous region. Their armed forces are nominally part of the Syrian National Armed Forces, and Kurds are guaranteed all the rights of Syrian Arabs. Trump fooled all of you. The Turks are no longer threatening the Syrian Kurds. The whole point of having American troops in Syria was to show the flag warning the region that Syrian Kurds were under the protection of the U.S. This allowed all the parties breathing space to negotiate in secret. When the deal was reached, we pulled out of that region. I didn't know what was going on until after the Kurds announced their deal with Assad. But even though I was in the dark, I trusted Trump. So you and Dr. Fauci are using a different timeline from the one Trump is using. He knows things that you don't. If Trump says that COVID-19 was a problem for China 3 or 4 months ago, take it to the bank. Trump can't expose his sources and methods. But he's telling people like me that he knew about this long ago. The problem with scientists is that too many of you place all your faith in institutions. Look at how many times the World Health Organization has put out dangerous misinformation. They said animals could not transmit COVID-19 to humans. WHO said there was no need to put travel restrictions on China. They were slow to call it a pandemic. The WHO was always a step behind Trump. And finally, Refusing to call this the Chinese coronavirus is easily the stupidest, most craven act of political correctness on record. The American media used the term. For example, New York Times, headline, 3 U.S. airports to check passengers for a deadly Chinese coronavirus. This is like calling terrorism man-made disasters. What's so shockingly brain-dead about it is that it's bigotry. When you don't even call it terrorism, you're saying that you need to protect the entire group because you think of them as terrorists. Attacking others for using the term Chinese coronavirus means that you think all Chinese are disease-ridden and alien. Have you seen videos of the attacks on Asians? The attackers would be hard-pressed to even name the president. They're the dregs of society. Last night I went to a gas station, and the clerk was wearing a mask and gloves. As I approached, she lowered the mask and sneezed twice without covering her mouth. So I left. That person can't be reached. Neither can the attackers. So please, try to be smarter. You do not have the information that Trump has. Everything he says is quite deliberate. If he tells the public that the Chinese had problems with COVID-19 3 or 4 months ago, they did. This happened. It hasn't leaked. This is from military.com, headline, American woman rescued in secretive military op, Trump says. This is from March 22nd. Trump knows more than you and Dr. Fauci. Accept it. Grow up and move.